Okay, y'all go ahead and put that up. Homeroom is over. Let's get into social studies. Will you men put that away? And let's get into social studies. Okay. On yesterday, we went over the Mississippian Indians, correct? All right. Somebody tell me what they are known for, real quick. Yes, building mounds, correct. What is some of the crops they make? Raise your hand. Corn, what else? Squash, pumpkin and beans. Very good, very good. This paper here is the start of the American Revolutionary that we're gonna get into, but right now, you just answered the questions I wanted out this book, but I want to show you some. So I need everybody to get a book down there. Get the social studies book. And go to page 54. So you just answered those key questions I was asking you. Who lived in the land we call Georgia before the first European explorers? What were they called? The Indians. But another name for the Indians is what? Native what?
Native American.
Very good. And the second question that you asked, describe the two key features of the late Mississippian culture. One of them, what did I say yesterday? The wives do what? The wives do
Garden.
Garden and the crops, and the men do what? They hunt. That is and logging. Their job is to provide a living for their loved ones, their kids. And in those mounds I told you, they can have up to 3 to 4 families because they run very long until they move out and build their own mound. They are known for that. So this book, I need you to go to page, I want to show you something. The next page over is page 56. Now remember, this is the colonial Georgia. Remember I told you that we're going to start this part before you even get to the American Revolutionary War, which is coming. I just wanted to show you this. That it was the Native American lands first. Turn to page 56 in your book. Everybody on it? Yeah. Okay, now look at that land right there. What do you see? What do you see?
I see houses.
Well, no, they look like houses. They look like houses. That's just land. You see all those trees around it? Yes. Well, these people claim. Remember we talked about settlement yesterday? Yeah. How you settle and you claim your land? Yeah. Well, they settle. So all these are for families to move in. Okay, but if you go through the time period, England established the colonies along the Atlantic coast. Then you had King George coming in. Then the British built Fort King George. You had all this leading up to. And if you go, you remember Oglethorpe. He was the first what? British guy that came down? And what was the land in Georgia that he came to?
Savannah.
High five. Very good. Stop eating. Came to Savannah. Savannah, did he settle in Savannah? Put it down, sir. Did he settle in Savannah? Yeah, that was the land. They had the land. Remember the Yamacraw Bluff? They built. Well, this is some of the things they helped build right here in Savannah. But I just wanted to show you that. That was very interesting. I wanted to show you that. England's North America. Colonies developed a vastly different ways. A fertile land and aggressive climate of Virginia and Carolina were planted for settlers. Settlers are who? People that came to what? Settle. They claimed it. Okay? So remember I told you when the British came in, they couldn't go past the Appalachian Mountains. King George said no, they wanted all the land. But a couple people got told they couldn't come past that. That's for the gold rush and everything occurred. Okay? But I just wanted to see that. And it's a total of 13 what? Colonies. Yes. Key terms in that, you're going to see crops, disaster, service, all these. Enslaved Africans were brought to the colonies against slavery, but we're not going to get into that part yet. Okay? But that was a long, one along, everything took place for a reason. The most things you want to know about King George was the what? You can get into it on this paper. It's the American Revolutionary War and what were some of the causes. Now I want you to watch this video up here. You see, oh, yeah. I cannot show that video on that. So let me go over here and see because I'm using my camera. Let me see something. And these was what? These are the mouths, right?
Yeah.
So we finished that. So I'm gonna cut this off.
Mississippi culture
Go
between
back home.
1500 BC.
And I need to go to that so y'all can see that thing. Causes, web page not available. Well, why I do this? Read that piece of paper I gave you, the American Revolutionary, and we'll go over it one by one. Somebody can actually start reading it while I'm looking for one of them. Who wants to start reading? Go ahead, first one.
The American Revolutionary War was also known as the American War of Independence. Was a significant conflict that marked the birth
Significant.
conflict that marked the birth of the United States as a nation. The war began as a result of this what? This one?
Escalating.
Escalating tension between the American colonies and Britain, ultimately.
Thanks for helping me. That's teamwork.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why. This is not.
That's at. I can't even read today.
That's okay. Take your time. Take your time.
And okay. Yeah. I got
If you
it.
read it all and come for it. Look, you still got more. Before we dive into the events of Lexington and Concord, let's understand the facts that have been brewing for years. Go ahead. You got this. The American, just take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Go ahead.
The American colonies have been under British rule for nearly 2 centuries, and by the mid-18th century, there was growing
Dissatisfaction.
colonies. Several issues. I remember that.
Okay. So, right there, what did that say? What did that say about it? What did you interpret what you read? Interpret what you read. You don't have your paper turned towards you, sir. So you don't know what it said. But you can read the second one. But that first one said the American Revolutionary War was also known as the American War of Independence. Was a significant conflict. A lot of people lost their what? I told you no, sir. A lot of people lost their lives, correct? Okay. Taxation without representation. Who wants to read that? You don't have to throw it away, just not right now. Taxation without representation.
One of the most significant movements was the imposition of taxes on the colonies by the British government with the colonists legislature of the British colonists believed that slaves were being unfairly taxed by the Southern.
They thought they was being taxed unfairly. Who imposed the tax on them?
King George.
King, have five. King George, have five. That's five, buddy. That's what imposed the taxes. And people didn't like that. That really happened after the Stamp Act came. That's when they really were mad. But they didn't understand taxation without representation. That's like if you go in the store right now and we didn't pay taxes. Say for every lollipop you got, sometimes you do walk in like good supply stores and the lady like, don't worry about the tax. But imagine when we went over there and budget the taxes. But imagine right now if your lunch costs $2. And then it goes up to $2.06. You like, why am I paying 206? And the lady say behind that because you have to pay taxes. But that's the same thing happened to them. The British imposed all of these taxes, which nobody wanted to pay. Especially when the war came about, nobody had this type of money. Okay, trade and economic restrictions. Read that, Janelle.
Policy also
You got next.
restricted
Restricted.
controls trade and economic opportunities act like the navigation
Navigation Act.
and the Sugar Act. The colonies
Colonies.
agrees trade agreement with other nations to
Hindering
their
economic growth. So, what did the British people do? You need to sit up, my friend. What did the British people do? They restricted. They had policies. They restricted the colonial trade and economic opportunity. So, what that means to the British, they didn't make any money. When King George came and did all this, they didn't make any money. They're broke. Now we broke. But acts like the Navigation Act and the Sugar Act. I tell you what, let me get a board. I need one group to look up Navigation Act and one to look up the Sugar Act.
Got it.
You got it?
Yes.
All right. Now, get 3 expos from up there, please. One of y'all look up the Navigation Act. Y'all can look up this together as a team with Janelle writing it down. Navigation Act. Y'all looking up the Navigation Act. You guys look up the Sugar Act. So group 3 got Navigation Act. Dominique, come right here. You part of this group, please. Look up the Sugar Act. Y'all take a minute to look up that. Y-I. Yes. My what? Oh yeah, go and get my plug real quick. Thank you. Y'all look up the Navigation Act. You guys look up the Sugar Act. Bring it real quick. Thank you. I didn't even notice that. You plug that in for me. Thank you. And we will go over it when you finish. The Navigation Act and the Sugar. And while y'all do that, let me try to get up here to the board. See what's going on. I want y'all to see causes. Says it's gonna work.
Look, I don't know mine. Mine is a little.
Y'all work together. Work together. Y'all look it up.
Yes, I'm gonna go write it down. What is
So y'all ready for it? No. No? Okay. Y'all should be with Janelle. Looking on that one. So she got that. Y'all put look at that. You're supposed to write it. Somebody gonna read. It's not working, guys. Okay. Let's see, one group is finished. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna see what that is all about. Okay, while you writing that, you go ahead and read it. Stand up and read it for me.
Oh, I got stand up.
Stand up and read it. Navigation Act. What you got, Group 3?
Navigation parliament intended to speak control the scope circumvention of the British Empire.
The British Empire?
Yes.
That's what it says?
The next by restraining is that called
Colonial trade.
colonial trade to England and Greece? That's all?
Okay. So what is that saying? Let me see. The Act of Navigation Parliament intended to promote the self-sufficiency of the British Empire by restricting colonial trade to England. So, what did the Parliament? This act it restricted the British Empire from buying anything. They tried. They tried. But yes, imported goods. So imported goods. So what they did when the British came up with all this taxation without representation, the British Parliament said, "What? We're gonna impose the Navigation Act, which was what's the last line you read? It would decrease what? It would decrease on foreign imported goods. So they said, no way, you're not gonna tax us. That didn't happen. That was one thing that led up to the war. But the big war came when the Stamp Act, but we almost into that. What is the Sugar Act? Just read this, Dominic. Read that. What is the Sugar Act?
It's also known as American Revenue Act of 1764.
The Sugar Act is also known as the American what? The American Revenue Act. So remember that the Sugar Act is also known as the American Revolutionary Act. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
The American Duties Act was a revenue raising act passed by the colonies of Great Britain.
Okay. Okay, what he said the Sugar Act of 1764 or the Sugar Act of 1763, also known as what I said, the American what? Revenue Act of 1764 or the American Duties Act was a revenue raising act passed by the Parliament of Great Britain. So see, they passed this too. So a lot of people had a lot of things going on because they didn't like King George. Okay. Now let's get into the Quartering Act. The Quartering Act, huh? No, you stay in this group. The Quartering Act of 1765 required colonies to provide housing and supplies to British soldiers. Now, I wonder who came up with that. So the Quartering Act required colonists to provide housing and supplies to the British soldiers. That was the soldiers fighting in the what?
War.
War. But they had to supply them, further straining the relationship between the colonists and the British military presence. So the colonists and the British, it's going to be a big powwow. Big powwow. Okay. So the Stamp Act in protest. Who haven't read for me? You read, Jermaine? Read the Stamp Act in protest. Stamp Act and the protest on it.
Follows the tax on printed material for the newspapers and legal documents. Led to widespread protests, boycotts, and mob action by the colony.
So this getting pretty heated up now, ain't it? You got the Stamp Act, which was imposed by who? King George. He said, okay, this is one of the major reasons you have to know what happened when they had enough before they got into the Declaration of Independence. The Stamp Act of 1765, which imposed a tax on printed materials, including newspapers and legal documents, led to widespread protests, boycotts, and mob action. So when you hear that, you're thinking, oh God, it's going to be a war. some type of fight. And so the Boston Massacre of 1770, where British soldiers fired upon a crowd of colonists. When we went on, who was the first person killed in that? It was a black guy. Because they shot into, it wasn't a war, it was just a massacre. They shot into it. And what was poured in the Boston Tea? What we poured over in there? Anybody in the Boston Tea Party?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that part of the Boston Masquerade also?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we finished it. I cannot get this video working up there, and this is not on yet.
Last night when I was finishing up my King George writing, I looked on the thing that said was King George a bad king. I clicked on it and it said he was a kind and caring person.
Which king was kind and caring? King George? No,
The
second.
I looked up King George III and it said he was a kind and caring person.
No, he wasn't kind and caring at all. He the one imposed all these taxes.
How the hell was King George the first?
Well, they never talked too much about King George the First too much. King George the Second, he was a great king. People loved him. You didn't get into a war. King George the Third is his son. I guess he didn't like what his father was doing, and he was like, that's when it came all about with the taxes. He wanted money. He was greedy. James Oglethorpe came down. He was a British guy. Came down. He met with the Indian people, which y'all know is Tamachichi and Mary Musgrove. They landed in Savannah. However, they looked for all this land. Yamakra, everybody came down and settled in, and they built their land. But it was mostly Indians that was working. Then you had the French and Indian War. A lot of people died, so a lot of people got their land. So when they heard about this, everybody started coming from all over. Then you had the guy, the Spanish guy, Hernando de Soto. But he was looking for what? He was looking for gold. He was looking for the gold. So everybody started coming around because some people wanted Christianity, some people wanted land, and then when we get into the gold rush, some people were looking for the money. Because this was the land, America was the land of what? Opera what? Opportunity. So everybody wanted to come down. So if you turn to page, let me take a page in your book, because I'm going to try to get that up before we leave. But I want you to go back to page 54. And I'm going to give you a piece of paper and read question 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we'll go over them. That's your assignment. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Look at that. Let me get the paper right here. Here we go. All right, there. Answer 1, 2, 3, 4. Just look over that. Okay, this is independent work. Independent work. Look up those and write it down. Independent work. Like if you go to the first one, it says, according to the map, which country possessed the least amount of territory? Which country possessed the most? What is the least amount of territory that you see in here? No. It's disputed out unexplored. It's right up here. On the left. You see the veins? It's unexplored. Yes. No, we're not on here. We're not on here. You're going right here. I just answered the first one. The least one that was explored. Go to your map. What's the least area that they did not explore? The least. The least. And if you look up here, it tells you British, French, Spanish, disputed, or unexplored. So what is the least territory that was unexplored? Huh? You don't need a computer for that. It's in your book. It's right here. It's unexplored. It's unexplored. First one is unexplored. Go right here to the shaded area. It says the least. It says the least.
Disputed or unexplored.
It's debate. Okay, but it also asks you a second question in there. It asks you
The most.
who possessed the most?
That was
It was
Spain.
New France. Yeah, New France, right there. You can see it. The French. They consider French, but New France, the French people did. So go to the next one and you go from there. Now we did the first one. Everybody should have the first one. Yes.
It's like Spain. Yeah, it's like the map looks the same.
So see, this is all just little pieces. Love for the New Spain. Right here. They're more larger. The French is more larger. Okay? Because you remember the French and Indians, they had the land before we even came down. They had the war first. So they possessed all that land in first. Then we came in and we took over the land.
Or more specifically,
They came in. The British folks, whatever you want to call it, they came in. The British, because they the ones having the warfare, right? So the most is right there.
everyone else have a peaceful life so they can.
A little bit, something like that. Something like that. But it was already at war. Imagine being in a French and Indian war for 3 to 7 years, then you come up on another war. That's just too busy in my lifetime. I can't imagine about the 1700s, but in my lifetime, like, I'd be just scared. I'd be like, we got another war, especially as a kid. Okay, so answer those other questions. Independent. I'm still trying. I don't know. That's a good one. I know about Florida because I lived in Florida.
Like that. We know it's called Florida, but in fact called Love Florida.
Love Florida. I never. That's something probably they had already before they took that law off and made it Florida. We'll investigate that. See, before I find the film, it also says it right here. The origins of the American Revolution can be traced to another conflict, the 7-Year War. Colonial resistance emerged in response to new imperial policies related to Western lands, land and taxes and trade, as Parliament grabbed to administer its badly expanded empire. So we just read about that, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my video.
That video from up there.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for that one. Well, we went over some of the causes of the American Revolution, the Boston Massacre, the Boston Tea Party, the French and Indian War. But I am trying to find my video. The independent word. My video. Yes. Okay, I'm coming. Hang on one second. I finally got my video. Hold it here. Make it big. How do I take this? How do I take this? I need to make this go right here. Hang on a second. Okay. What you need? No, you don't write on this. You're writing on the wrong side of the paper. So when you finish, write on the right side. We don't write on the wrong side, right? We're going to high school, so not on the wrong side. How do you think? I'm on number 3. If y'all can go number 3 with him, we can look up this together. How do you think of Florida's location relative to the rest of? How do you think of Florida's location relative to the rest of New Spain impact the Spanish ability to control the main economy? Now let's go to La Florida. Well, the answer be today it wasn't much impact because it was this small. So you're gonna put it was not much impact to the colony because it was very small. It might have been 10% of the population. So it was no impact. Yes. Yes. Go ahead. So it was no impact. La Florida has no impact. And the fourth question asks what? Why is this so dark? So the fourth question is pretty much the same, but if you look at the fourth question, it says, in what way did the Florida location impact the Georgia economy? It didn't impact it at all. It was a small, little space, little land that they did what? What was the big word I'm looking for? They what? The people, what they did right there, they settled in. So it wasn't much impact. They just settled in there. So it was not much impact at all. Yes, number 3 is similar. It's only 10% of the population. So when you get 10% of 100% population, it has no impact. It has no impact at all.
What truly is 100% of the population?
Well, they didn't give us a figure, but according to this, the biggest area was French. Then it was the Spanish. And then you had British colonies settled. Remember, they couldn't come past the Appalachia what? They couldn't come past it. So that's why you see it spread out like this on the map. It's all spread out. Even down here, where you have New Spain, you have a couple people that live in there. So we don't know the actual figure of how many people landed there, but we know they all came down. Okay, but right here where it said La Florida, very little impact, very little. I can say if it was a population by based on this, maybe 200, 300 people compared to thousands, that was no impact. Okay, is everybody finished? You finished, Dominique? Or when you finish up, we're gonna watch this little fun video. He rapped it, cause of the American Revolution. It was a lot of causes, but I want you to remember the main cause of the American Revolution was the taxes. When King George imported taxes on everything, they got tired of it. That's how when we get in the third part about the Declaration of Independence, when the guy wrote it, 5 guys, Thomas Jefferson, we'll get into that more. Yes.
I would have reached 100% but then go right back in.
Well, I never said it was at 100% because we don't know the figure. They would not tell you it was 100%, but based on this, you don't know the. Just like Georgia, you got millions of people in Georgia. Just like when they vote, everybody didn't vote, but Georgia's still a big state, correct? So just like here. The British was up there. It was popular, but Spain, we had more people than the French. British was right here. That's why they came down. And James Oglethorpe founded Georgia. When he found it, it was like a gold mine to him. When he founded it, everybody came. Right, Savannah, right there. So they found land here. It's just like when I moved here. I didn't come to Atlanta, Georgia first. You know where I was? I was up there. No. I came to Georgia, but I was in a little part of Georgia. I was in Macon. I was in Macon and I liked it, but I was in a little town called Fort Valley, which is not too far from Americus and where President Jimmy Carter just passed away in Plain, Georgia. But when I came there, it was one Piggly Wiggly store. It wasn't no Winn Dixie. It wasn't no Kroger's. I didn't know about all that until the cousin brought me down to Atlanta. All I knew is that I was moving, and I loved the little town of Fort Valley. It was small. I was like, man, this is great to raise a family. But guess what? They didn't have any jobs. So if there's no jobs, you can't raise a family. It's a little small town. Those people had got those jobs. It wasn't no Walmart in Fort Valley. It was a pig. Remember, they had a church's chicken. They had one McDonald's, and their downtown was little stores. It wasn't no big stores like you would find Catos or Marshalls or Ross. They didn't have nothing. I thought when I came down for a football game. I'm like, man, this is nice. I can raise my kids and everybody coming out the door talking about, hey, hey, girl, how you doing? You're like, oh, man. But it was no jobs. It's just like here. When James Oglethorpe came down to Savannah, Savannah just was a small part. Georgia was becoming big. So now when they found out that you got the Appalachian Mountains, those 5 geographic locations that you learned about, everybody wanted he said, oh, it's great down here. So he told you it's great now your parents hopped up and they moved down here, right? So that's why British was small. But everybody, okay, make sure your names on those papers. I'm gonna collect them. I'm gonna go right into this video. It says the causes. Please sit up, sir. Sit up. I thought y'all liked that one. And he supposed to be King George. Pulaski Mountain. Santa Fe. No taxation. Stamp that. Quarter and that. Y'all went over that. Come on back. Sons of Liberty. Went over that yesterday. Okay. Let's pause right here. When he say the list of grievance, who we talking about that the parliament sent it to? Who did he send it to? King George what?
The third.
So when you see that he sent that to him, that's what he meant. They sent the list. They sent the list to British Parliament. They rejected what was said. They didn't like King George at all. Yes.
You're saying that King George didn't add taxes when that just
No, I'm not saying that. I would know that, but they were mad because when King George II, they didn't have all these problems. But when his son took over, he seen money. He was greedy. So he wanted to tax everything. That's why you had all those acts come in because of him. And that's why when you get into your letter, King George III, they got tired of him. So they overthrown him eventually. And you see, he talked about the stand back. That's what caused all this. He said, yeah. What we gonna do next? All right, hit that right there. So he said, you gonna stand up and fight for your own independence. That's when you're gonna get into the letter. When we start getting into it about King George, when they wrote the letter to King George, he just said, are you gonna stand up? And that's what the British did. They stand up. They was like, hey, we don't want no more. You read about the taxation without representation, the stamp act. We don't want none of this. Now, the last part of the day, let's close these books up. I'm gonna come around and get your paper, put your name on it. And I got one more thing that somebody need to do, and it's for some bucks. I'm gonna put it in your thing for some bucks. Why is this not
You
like
mean like money bucks or just like
your bucks that come on your synergy? Shadow bucks. I'm gonna collect your paperwork. Give me all of it. So what you gonna look up? What you gonna answer for me now? You gonna tell me about a tax. Look up the word tax. That's all. One word. Because that's mainly what we're talking about.
the definition of it?
The definition. Matter of fact, put in a sentence. Here we go. This is what you're put in the sentence what you think about being taxed. Put in the sentence what you think about taxes. What you think? What you say? I would be taxed. You know, my mom go. Just something funny. My mom go to the store. The grocery bill $22. But now my mom said she got to pay $22.46. I'm just saying, for instance, what do you think about taxes? What do you think about taxes? Because the problem is the rich people, they weren't having it. He taxed them too much. But only reason I thought about that, because you're right. We have taxes now. We have to pay taxes on everything. Everything. So just a quick little sentence. That's all. Quick little sentence. Quick little sentence. Quick little sentence. You want this milk? You don't even have to look it up. Just think of something real quick. Just one little sentence. Come on, guys. Y'all got this. Y'all got it. Question: have anybody ever had their own money as a teenager? Went in the store and you thought something cost $2, and you got to the counter. What did you think?
Let me tell you this one thing.
Yeah.
After school, I went to Waffle House, right?
Uh-huh.
It was $12 for
Mm-hmm.
the all-star breakfast.
Yeah.
I ended up paying 15.
With taxes.
With the tax,
So, but that's the question. I'm just telling you right there. You can put that down as so what happened when you thought it was 12? You was getting out $12. They told you 15. Were you expecting that? But that goes to show you, if you didn't have the $15, you done ate, not realizing you had taxes. That's what they was talking about when they were talking about taxes without representation. They taxing you and you don't know why. So now you understanding why they have it, but you gotta understand, as a kid, remember, when we went over our budget, it's taxes on everything, people. Everything. It's not free, and it will be taxed. You were surprised, Jermaine?
Yes.
You weren't really surprised.
No,
You just thought it wasn't gonna be 15.
I thought probably like 13 or 14.
13 some dollars, yeah.
Like,
What's so?
$3. Like,
But for what you gonna understand too, even if you ask for cheese on the eggs, they tax that. I went to IHOP the other day and we got a $6 meal. Me and my sister, right? So I know it's taxes. I'm thinking like you, $13. It was 15 some dollars because they taxed on the cheese and everything else you got. It was taxed. So I added on the price. So y'all got to check those prices. But just think about it in a sentence. This is an easy A right here, easy 100. I just want to know what you think as a youngster. I already know. See, I already know as an adult how it go. You want to share, Raven? You finished? It was that much money? That was a lot, huh? I know that's right. Think so. Y'all drinking this milk? Yeah.
I didn't get no time.
Go ahead, finish up. I know. I'm gonna talk to you. Very good, Dominique. Dominique said he went and bought some headphones. And when he got to the register, instead of being two something, it was $250. That was a lot of taxes, right? So imagine the British people. They upset, right? You done taxed us. You taxing on everything. And they got real mad when they started taxing on the mail and the letters. They got real mad. That's why they got mad. That's why they was in this predicament. They said enough is enough. We're done. We're done with this. And that's what happened. They got tired of it. And they had to stand up for what they believed in. They was trying to tell King, hey, it's too much going on. No more of this. No more. But here they got. He was all about making that what?
Money.
Money. Exactly right.
Your money, your life.
Your money, your life. You remember that?
Yes. I remember this message you told me.
Yeah. Your money, your what?
Right.
Life. So that wasn't the case of the British people. They just got upset. They got tired of the big man. It's just like we got the president of the United States. Hey, KC came in and taxed. We already taxed, but KC came in saying instead of you paying 6 or 7%, your taxes now get extra 20%. Are you mad? You mad, right? Because you don't went up. Especially as an adult, I'm already paying taxes, and you don't went up from 7% to 20%, which is a 13% increase. I'm mad because now I got to pay for them eggs I'm getting. Instead of paying $2 and some, I got to say $2 times 20% of that. What is $2 times 20% of that? I'm paying an extra 40 cents. Do I want that? No, no, not at all. But unfortunately, so y'all finished? Okay. Who else want to share? I seen Dominique's on. Who want to share? Who wants to share? You gonna share? Okay, man gonna share. Loud and clear.
I don't like taxes because it makes things so much more expensive for no reason.
I like that. No reason.
Like when I went to Waffle House and it was a $12 meal, but it ended up being $15. So I'm upset about taxes.
You upset? So now you acting like the British people. I'm upset now. So they say, all them people said, what we gonna do about it? So that's how they got into that war. Great sharing, great sharing. Okay,
I got one.
you got one? Go ahead and share it now.
Okay. I went to Zaxby's to like buy some food. It was $8.62.
$8.62.
Yeah. But when I bought it, it was $10.55. And I was like, what? I don't like taxes at all.
So you go up to the register, you think you got $9 on it, right? And then they say it's $10 or something. You looking around like, who gonna give me an extra dollar? And then you ever been somewhere say, take that off. I'm not gonna get the drink. Just give me the food. Well, it's happened.
My dad.
Hang on a second. So that's what happened with the same thing. With the British people, they got upset. The man was just taxing everything for his benefit. And they said, no way, but see, you put yourself in that category. If everything taxing, you can't afford that. Are you mad? Are you mad? Hang on, let me get Jack Lauren. Go ahead, Jackson.
Oh, so we went to get something, like, like, because it was at the party.
Party?
Yeah, and we bought like 15 pizzas.
15 pizzas?
And so
So you bought the special pizza for $7, $6.99.
Yeah, like that.
So $7, 15 pieces at $7.
It was a large one.
It was a large one.
Yeah.
So when you got us to pay for it.
When we came, they said it was 56. It's $56. And then when it comes to like pay, it's like $60.
Oh, y'all went back to the drawing board. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
Taxes scare you every little bit. But let me tell you something real quick. I was ready. You know what I found out? I ordered pizza the other day. My pizza was expensive too. I bought 2 pizzas for $6.99, $6.99. I'm pretty good at math, I think. It's 14-year taxes. It was 20.11. But they charge now, when you check your bill, they charge for delivery. $4.99. I didn't know that because I kept saying, wait a minute, this is not adding up. And I'm talking to the people on the phone. Well, if I'm paying $6.99, just run off to 77. 14, a little bit of taxes, 15 something.
Included the chip. Included the chip.
Well, I didn't even have no chips, and they told me $20.11. I said, what am I paying for? The taxes can't be that much. They say, no, you paying for delivery. You see it? That's how it works. But you got to ask. So it might not be in your case that was all taxes, what y'all were because y'all walked in. But mine, I had to now I know. Okay? Put your names on those papers. I'm going to collect them. Y'all get ready to wrap up. It is time to go. Get your book bag. Give me your papers. Get your book bag. You can leave those books on the desk for the next class.
I think,
That's okay. All right. Y'all leave those books. Go pack up your, I'm coming. Y'all go ahead and pack up your computer.
My sister walked to family health.
Uh-huh.
The family health was in my house. We walked there, right?
Okay.
We got like $1, $2.
Wait, hang on a second. Make sure y'all put your paperwork up there. Make sure I gave you in your book bag so you remember what you got. Go ahead.
Well, I give it to you.
Yeah, I got mine.
You gave me your little, wait a minute, your little paper? I gave you your little paper.
I give you the paper that I put my.
Oh, yeah, but remember your little paper, put that in your bag. You got it.
Okay.
We have went to family health, and it was like $1, $2. We had like 5 things. We go up to the cash register, right? We ring it up. It comes out for $20.
Y'all was upset. Y'all had to put some back, didn't you?
I don't like upset. I had to pay for it. I was upset.
Did you have to put some back?
No,
No.
I couldn't.
So you was able to afford everything?
So yes, but look, every time I told my sister to put something back, you get something else, they always get upset and start crying. I'm like, just.
So it was $20. Okay, everybody got that stuff?
One time they even reached to 30.
Okay.
One time they even reached to $30. I'm like, well, what?
Don't go out the door yet, hang on.
I look at the receipt. I'm like, taxes. Like $15 for taxes.
Yeah, taxes will get you. But that's
why? Oh, my brother.
that's why the business looks at taxes. All right, y'all line up at that door.
The British was upset. The British, I'm upset.
Y'all have a good day. I'll see y'all later.